Time now for the antenna show. Yeah. Good day. We're gonna talk about the Antop antenna, amplified indoor-outdoor antenna. This is actually a really good one if you're in an apartment or you're gonna take an antenna with a camper, because it will pack up easily and you set up easy. So we'll do the unboxing of this. The box here, it has some pictures of the network channels you can get. It says 4K, 8K, 1080p. The antenna really doesn't make much difference on that. That's really up to your TV and your TV tuner. Now, this video is being recorded in August of 2022 as technology changes. Also, there is, if you want to buy this, there is affiliate links in the description below. Now, I do make a commission off this, and this is a, I guess what you call a sponsored video. Antop has sent me this antenna to review, so for full disclosure on that. But I'd like to compare this to my antenna that I've been using before.
So we'll give that a comparison. So, let's take a look here. I'll open her up here. Get out the antenna, see how much stuff's gonna fall out of the box here.
There it is. Pull that out here. And there's more things in the box as well. Here, I'll start with the antenna. We'll take that apart here. So here we go is the Antop, the big boy. It's actually bigger than my current antenna, which is a an HD360 antenna. It is a directional antenna. There we go. All right. So you can see where you attach the cable up to it, and where the bracket is for you to put it on a post or whatever. There'll be more accessories to that. And it also has the connections for the VHF elements, so that it will reach out and get the VHF stations. In my area, I get about 2 VHF channels.
Little Masting here. Get my tool out. I'll need this nice handy power to get into this thing.
Power supply, which will probably go into the adapter. That's the one thing with a lot of antennas, is you need to have them plugged in. Here is the VHF elements. There is a big roll of cable. This is RG6U, but I don't see it saying quad shield, and it feels a little thinner than what quad shield would be. But some people argue that they use quad shield. I've used basically a cord that came with my antenna, which was definitely not quad shield, but it still worked. Might get a little bit better marginal performance if you did have a better cable. So this is the power supply. It has a little pass here. Oh, and then this thing here, it's the cable here on these adapters for the amplifier is very, very like headphone wire thin. Here's the stand if you want to keep it inside your house. There's some manuals in here too. So let's dump this right out. There we go. All right. All right, you're gonna get refresh your feed. There's some documentation on this. Keep your channels, keep your cache. Sling and Antop for like a sling promotion thing. I don't think they have slinging here in Canada. I don't really care about anything paying for TV. I like my free stuff. Manual there. First off, here, let's take a look at this. So for you people that might want a really good indoor antenna, I've been in the same situation with an apartment building. It does have a stand. And just fit on there. And that's a nice thing. If you are an apartment, live in an apartment or whatever, and you have a balcony and you just kind of want to put this thing out, or you have a camper and you just want to set it up easily, my recommendation is put it on a post or a pole or some masting. These things here, I can be like Mr. Wilson here hiding behind my antenna. Hey, North Coaster Hobby, I'm not showing my face. How's that? Who's the other YouTuber, that a video creator that doesn't show his face? Oddity Archive. Yeah, this is like an episode of the Oddity Archive. All right. Here's this thingamajigger here. It's a VHF element. And there you go.
It's a nicely wrapped, the VHF adapter.
Sticking to my finger. Here, I'll stick it to the table. All right, there you go. Look at me! I have an Antop antenna growing out of my head. It's crazy. All right, you're not really interested in a TV antenna, but maybe you're looking like for a drum. That will do too. And you don't need to have these VHF elements in if you don't want them. But in my area, like, it all depends on your area if you have VHF. Most areas are gonna have a few VHF channels that are real legacy channels that would be available. But we're gonna hook this big boy up, hook up the big boy. We're gonna hook you up and use you and watch some television shows. We're gonna watch some ETV. We're gonna watch the Andy Griffith Show. We're gonna watch Friday Night SmackDown. Yeah. Okay. All right. This was the antenna show.
So this is the amplifier. It actually sends a signal up through the cable so that you'll be able to send the signal to the antenna. So the idea of this is you leave this inside your house and the power will actually run through the wire up to the antenna, and then there's an amplifier in there that will help tune the signal. Tune the signal, I don't know, it will amplify the signal at the antenna's end. Alright, I just want to say I put the Antop just in my window, and this is like the lower level of my house, and I am able to get about 5 channels. I know I'll get a lot more if I put it outside and high above the roof level, but I am impressed that this antenna is able to pull in the at least 5 channels, and probably if I moved it around I get more channels, but with my rooftop antenna I can get at least 40 channels, so I'll definitely test it out there. I just wanted to see how it would work in this environment, being at a lower level, and it was still able to get my local channel with news. So one thing I'm impressed with is I'm able to get WPBS at Watertown, New York, and I'm getting about 52%, and that's with like the antenna in my basement.
Fasten the Antop to a masting pole. You just use the wing nuts here, secure it on. Just that one wing nut holds it on pretty securely. This thing does have some weight to it, so poles like this you might not want to go much, maybe 3, maybe 4, but they'll be a little bit flimsy at that point. So this would be a great solution for if you have a camper where you want to take this down and put it back up real pretty quick. It doesn't take very long to assemble and tear down and put back up. So like for a camper. Woo. So it's great if you're going to turn your antenna and you want to get signals from a different direction. So you just grab your pole here, and you turn your antenna, woo, and you can get better signal. Easy to set up. That's what we like. We like around here. Something easy. You don't want to have to. If you don't have any friends to help you put up a tower, you can just do this all by yourself. I did this all by myself. Took about half an hour. And most of the amount of time I spent was trying to get one of these little nubby things from the Land of Awful to get into the other hole, so I can put it in together and make it hold. So that was like pretty much the thing. This is actually the thing that took the longest on the pole. But once it's set up, it's pretty good. You should be good to go.
There, I put the Antop antenna on the tower, and I have a few antennas on my tower. I have a satellite dish, and I have the antenna, and up here I have the MLA I use for picking up shortwave. The antenna I've been using for TV over the years is this HD360 antenna craft antenna, and it's a directional antenna. I do get channels from Syracuse. I wasn't able to get some of the Syracuse channels on this one, but I do not have it as high, so that could be a factor.
All right, so I put the Antop up here. It's not as high as my other antenna, but I have a knee injury, so I didn't want to go climbing right now. But I do have it on these on some poles, so it gives me the ability to turn, do what I wanted to do with this antenna, is to be able to turn the antenna from this pole here to be able to get an optimum signal. If you don't have a router and you don't want to go through all the expense of that, you can do this. And with the HD home run, I can just look on my computer and see the signal quality as I turn the antenna. One thing I will say is with this setup, I'm not getting as many channels as the antenna on the top of the tower, because obviously it's higher and it's got a clear line of sight. So I am getting channels from Syracuse that haven't been able to pick up with this antenna. But I am impressed that it worked so well indoors. I was able to get channel 11 and PBS. So I was able to pick up over-the-air channels using my HD home run and see the signal quality. Channel 11 CKWS came in 100% on both antennas. The VHF was a little bit lower with the Antop, but also, mind you, my other directional antenna is about 10 or 15 feet higher up on the pole, and it is a directional Yagi compared to a flat antenna. And I was able to get channel 24, which has about 7 or 8 sub-channels, which includes antenna TV and grit and sub-channels like that. PBS, which has about 4 channels, I was able to get that pretty reliably. The signal quality was a little bit lower, but it still was coming in. And channel 50, which is comes in pretty strong. Well, it's channel 31, but it scans in as channel 50. ABC and Laugh TV and all those channels that are on this. My directional Yagi antenna was able to pick up a few extra channels because of it being higher up and it being a directional antenna where you can focus in on a particular spot. Particularly for my area, you kind of need a directional antenna to pick up channels, and that's one thing I wish Antop did have, is a directional Yagi antenna, because that's probably the antenna that would actually perform a lot better in my area. But if you're just looking for an antenna that will perform decently and is as portable as the Antop Big Boy is for your camp or whatever, just so you can get the local channels, it pulls it in pretty stable and reliably. So for channels 7 and 11, which will come in 100% in my area, and that's usually the channels that I go to for news and local programming. Yeah, for my particular needs in my area, I definitely would need a directional Yagi antenna and not a flat antenna. You don't want to have a giant arrow, big arrow Yagi type antenna pointed on your roof. Yeah, and you just want your local channels, but be able to pick it up better than an indoor antenna. This definitely would be the antenna for you. This speed bump is the speed bump of doom. See that? Oh, God.